What is up, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of the Talk the Ring Show. If you do not know who I am, then that means you are not subscribed. And if you are not subscribed, then you're going to be missing so many great episodes because let me tell you, this week we have so many great episodes. I am super excited for this week more than any. We start on a Sunday. We have a great ass wrestler, which I've been trying to get him on for so long, but he's been pushing it. No, I'm just kidding. But I am excited to have him on. So let's give him an intro. And his name is Donny Bambino, right?
Yeah, Donny
Awesome.
Bambino.
Great. How are you?
I'm good, and I don't have to ask my question if I curse or not.
It's fine. All right. So we're gonna start with who or what got you into wrestling.
So I've always been into wrestling, watching WWE and stuff, but I never wanted to be a wrestler. I'm probably one of the rare cases where I didn't want to be a wrestler, and I procrastinated a lot on becoming a wrestler.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So you're in the tag team Bad Fellas, right?
The Bad Fellas.
So do you prefer like working as a tag, or do you like doing your like matches by yourself?
When I first started as a singles competitor, and me and Nathaniel, we just kind of clicked, and we decided to make a tag team. And I'll tell you what, I can't wrestle without it now. It brings so much more fun to the business. It really is.
No, yeah, and that's great. I mean, sometimes you work great with someone, and other times you don't work great, and that's okay. But that's great. Okay, so who trained you?
Trained by Justin Glory of Backbreakers Training Center, but Backbreakers is no longer in business. But Justin Glory trained me for a while. I started training around, I can't even remember. I know it was prior to the pandemic. And yeah, so we had a little hiatus for the pandemic. And when we came back, Jack Molson was brought on board. So then he helped polish me up at the end.
And I may be wrong, but he's the one that does High Ground, right?
Yes, he did for wrestling.
See, and you just had a match. It was you and Nathaniel, right? And versus what's his name? Lucius Crow and the other guy, right?
That was at Frontier Pro Wrestling.
I was right on the match though, so close enough.
That was us versus Lucius Crow and Joey P.
Yeah, he tells me all these. Lucius Crow is like, yeah, I have this match against this person. I'm like, you wrestle too damn much, and I'm not gonna remember. Like I remember who he wrestles, but not like where at. Close enough though.
I think the last show we wrestled, I can't remember. Oh, we wrestled Nice and Smooth. Tom Mitchell and Trace Parker.
I love Tom Mitchell. He is the sweetest wrestler ever.
I love Tom Mitchell. In the ring, I hate him. I hate him so much. It's one of those pretty boys, and I hate him for it.
Yeah, that's true. So in the chat, my dad says, let's go. And then we have Anthony Blackwell. He goes and says, Donny is hands down one of my favorite people in the business. Such a great human.
I love Blackwell. Blackwell is one of my people.
I have not seen Blackwell in like forever. He doesn't go to any other shows I go to now. So it's like, it's been like a year. Maybe not a year, but he's great.
He's awesome.
He's killing it.
He gave me a nickname the first time he called one of my matches. I believe it was my debut match. He called me a handsome Italian man, and ever since then we've been tight.
I guess it works. Whatever he calls you, you stick with that nickname and just go with it. So we said like who trained you and like when you started training, but like how long would you say you started training before you actually got like your first match? Like obviously it was before COVID era, but
I trained in total for 3 years because of the pandemic. It was on and off. But there was a couple years beforehand where I just kind of procrastinated. I was like, yeah, I'll go to training, but I was like, no, I can't do that. But I trained for 3 years, and then I had my first official match August last year. So I've been wrestling just shy of a year now.
Yeah, but since August, I've seen you in like a lot of matches, so that's great.
Yeah.
But obviously, yeah, and as long as you're having fun, you just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, Yeah. And
That's kind of like you said, like you're the procrastinator. That's kind of where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna start training, and then like 2 months later, they'll be like, "How you started?" I'm like, no,
yeah. Well,
I'll do it.
I got into the business as a security guard. I didn't even think about being a wrestler. And then I would talk to Justin Glory a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I'll come down, check it out, see how much, I just never did it.
And I was gonna say, you kind of do look like a security guard person, like well, just the way you look.
Yeah, no, I used to work. I worked security at different bars and stuff, and then my buddy at the time, he introduced me to a couple of people. He's a wrestler now. His name's Aaron Roxas. He introduced me to GSW. I don't know if you know what GSW was, but that was Brad DeMeo. That was like his little promotion, and I remember talking to him, and I started working security at a GSW show, and then that's how I met Justin Glory, and then I started doing security at his shows, and that's when it started kind of like click, and I was like, maybe I want to do this. And I was like, oh, when do I start doing this?
And then you procrastinate about that as well. So
Yeah. But yeah, my goal originally was just to watch wrestling for free. So become a security guard.
I guess that works. You don't even gotta pay. You just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna be there. I won't watch it, and then you'd be like, yeah, I'm watching
it. Yeah.
So Anthony Blackwell goes and says, "Kid is a hell of a bowler." Also,
That Blackwell, don't be the. So he's making fun of me. I had a match at, I believe it was the first High Ground show. I had to face Mike Skyros. And Mike Skyros does this thing where he has a Venom mask. And so I thought it'd be funny. He's a Marvel character, so I'll do a DC character. And I did Deathstroke. And so I did the black and orange. And I came out with a polo shirt that looked like a bowling shirt. And ever since then, he keeps calling me a bowler.
I mean, I see it because bowling and golf. Like, I'm sorry, I'm white. I love all races. This isn't racism, but bowling and golf is like the whitest thing ever.
It's the most Italian thing too. Well, because my character is based off of The Sopranos, and yeah, he wears a lot of golf shirts or bowling shirts, and yeah. And then as soon as it was pointed out, I was like, no, all right, I'm not doing that ever. I told him the next time I seen him was at a sanctuary show. I told him I burned the shirt and just threw it away. I was not wearing it again.
So that's great now that I know like what Anthony calls you, so I could make like a poster and be like, "Oh, look at the bowler, look at the golfer, look at it."
Don't do that.
Maybe. We'll see. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll have to put you in a promo.
Definitely. So, if people don't know, are you more of like a heel or a face?
Oh, I am a bad guy. I am the epitome of bad guy. I love being the bad guy because I'm actually such a nice person. Like, I remember when I first told my coworkers that I was a bad guy wrestler or a heel. They were shocked because they're like, "How could you be a bad guy?" And I'm like, "Well, that's the point. I'm such a nice guy that when I get out there, I'm a completely different person, and I just bully everybody." But
No,
yeah,
that's how it is. Yeah.
I love playing a bad guy because it's so much fun. It really
No,
is.
yeah, and like some people have that look, like they can look like a bad guy, and they in their character is a bad guy. But there's some like you, like I'm like, yeah, this guy, like I've seen your video clips. Lucius Crow told me about it. He's like, yeah, that guy, he's a heel, and I'm like, well, he doesn't look that bad, and like now you're not that bad.
See, I do this thing because it originally started as like I wanted to be what they call a badass heel. It was like, I just beat people up, and then meeting Nathaniel and like going back and forth with him, it turned into more of a comedic thing where it's like we're the funny assholes, but like we're gonna beat you up.
So I gotta ask, like, how did that work with like Lucius Crow? Because he's a heel as well, and you guys are heels. So like, were you both heels in that match, or?
In that match specifically, we were told to act face, so we were more face, so we were more good guys. But there's a fine line between that where it's like we can still be good guys but make fun of the people that we're facing. So then the crowd is involved in it when we start making fun of those people.
And I'm all for that because Lucius Crow is like my dad's brother, so that makes him like my uncle. So I can bully him all I want. And so like he recently tore his MCL, and I'm like, so every time I see him, he walked with a cane for a little bit. I'm like, my knee, my back, and he like that's what I say every time. I'm like, look, it's old man Crow now. So if you see him, you gotta call him that.
That's awesome. I remember when we posted our promo for Lucius Crow versus Joey P. It was so funny because he was telling us backstage. He's like, I laughed so hard at that, and I was so pissed off that I wanted to shoot another promo just to make fun of you guys. And I was like, well, that's what we do. We make fun of people.
And that's great. Like Crow deserves that. So do what you gotta do, and I'll support you guys 100%.
Oh, there you go.
So what would you say is your favorite thing about wrestling?
My favorite thing about wrestling is just the people you meet. There's a lot of people that you meet and you're like, okay, you could stay over there. Like, don't talk to me. But a lot of the people that you meet, they're very genuine people. And it's awesome. It's awesome meeting all these connections and also being able to travel other places. Like I've been to New York, I've been to New Jersey. We went, I believe it was South Carolina. Like we've been all over, and it's such a cool experience to be able to travel the world and meet new people.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, like, I always say all the time, it's kind of like a family reunion because, like, once you keep going to these shows and, like, you talk to these people all the time, it's like they become your family, like, even the fans. So that it's like you see each other, it's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in, like, 1 month, but how has it been?
Oh, like
so
that's
cool.
It is cool because I remember there was this specific group of people that watch us down at 3WA. 3WA is in Quakerstown. And they watch us all the time there. And we are the epitome of bad guys there. Like people hate us there. And so we did a show at Sanctuary, and they were actually sitting in the crowd at Sanctuary. And we were supposed to be good guys at Sanctuary. And I was like, oh, all right, well, nobody's going to know who we are. So let's just, do something. And we started getting Bad Fellas chants. And I'm like, what is that? And I turn, I look, and it's them. And it was so cool. It was a cool moment.
It was like, you're not supposed to know who I am. Like, you gotta go.
It was like, oh, okay. Somebody actually knows us here. And then we were like, oh, you guys are from 3WA.
I mean, and that's the cool thing. Like, you can travel all these places, and so there will always be that one person like, I see you at this place. So it's cool.
Fun.
So yeah, so you said that's the your favorite part. So what would you say is like the hardest part for you?
The hardest part for me the hardest part for me is just the BS that goes on behind the scenes. There is a lot of BS. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't like drama. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm doing. I'm one of the guys where it's like I show up to shows to do my job, go home. That's it. I got enough stuff to worry about than having to deal with. Oh, so and so is doing this, or Scratch and Sniff is doing this. I don't want to deal with that.
Man, I love those nicknames because you're not even kidding. Like the drama, like behind the scenes, and like wrestling's great. We love it. Yeah. But like there's always something going on, and like there's always drama, and someone's always saying or doing something. So like I'm gonna just be calling them Scratch and Sniff. I'll be like that. You are not my favorite wrestler ever because this is great.
Well, you have to think that everybody in wrestling, it doesn't matter what they say. Everybody in wrestling is an attention whore. Okay, everybody wants attention. That's the whole point. Like you're in front of. It doesn't matter if you're in front of 5 people or 100 people. Like your main goal is to be the center of attention. So of course you're going to grow an ego, or you're gonna have, you're gonna have a way you feel about something else. Like, who cares?
Yeah, and like it's okay to have your own opinions, but like if it's something that's gonna hurt someone else, just keep your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
And like if it's gonna crush their dreams, just go, there's a door, leave, kick it out there. So, Anthony Blackwell says, don't know what that's referring to. And then my dad, he's like my manager. He's my hype man. He's the one who told me to reach out to you in the first place because I hate reaching out to people, to be honest. But he's like, go ahead. He's fine. He's nice. I was like, okay, whatever. But he's chanting your name. He's the best. If we ever come to like a show you're at, you'll hear us, especially me.
He actually reached out to me before you did.
Yeah, because we'd be at shows and he'll be like, come on, go ahead, reach out. I'm like, I don't want to. I'm scared. What if they're mean? And I'm like,
right now, 90% of wrestling, where I am, You reach out, yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, and that's true. A lot of them always say yeah, and I'm like, yeah, but what if there's that one that says no? Like, what if they all say no? But it's never.
Kick rocks. It don't matter.
It's fine. Save room for another one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if a younger fan came up to you and was like, I want to do what you're doing and I want to be a wrestler, what advice would you give them?
I'll give you the vet advice. Don't do it. No, I'm kidding. Never tell a wrestler.
You guys heard it. Don't do it.
If a kid comes up to me and asks about wrestling, I tell him to go for it. I tell him to go for it, but start planning ahead. So like me, I wrestled in high school. I did a lot of chorus classes, a lot of dancing, and I got really involved in just being who I am. Wrestling helped a lot because when you're training, it's very similar to amateur wrestling. And then I did mixed martial arts for a little while, and that helps heavily in getting into pro wrestling. And then just the chorus class, we used to have to perform in front of people. So I got over the nervousness of being able to perform in front of people from that. So it's just prepare yourself for that. So join that drama class or join that chorus class, even though you think Scratch Sniff is going to say something about it because now I'm a drama kid. It's like, it doesn't matter what they think. Okay. Because once you become a pro wrestler, then look at that. Now you're more popular than anybody else.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, now you said the dancing thing, that just made it even worse because now Anthony Blackwell is like Donnie the Dance. I was literally going to say something like that.
Hey, yeah, we're going to throw this out here, okay? Because even he doesn't know. I did take dance and I did ballet for about 4 months.
Ballet? Oh yeah. My gosh.
I'll tell you right now that ballet is probably the worst thing I've ever fucking done. Okay, that is the most intense thing ever. Okay, so anybody that does ballet, I give you props because that is insane.
So now we're gonna be like Donnie the ballerina.
I love it though, because it adds to the character where it's like now people are yelling all these things that I've said online, and it's like now I get to feed off of that and play off of that because I'm very quick. I'm very quick with jokes.
That's great. So next time, like whenever you wrestle, I'm just gonna bring you a tutu so you can wrestle in a tutu.
There you go. There you go.
I'll be like, if you ain't wearing it, then we can't be friends because it's a gift. You gotta wear what you receive.
That's funny.
That'd be hilarious. So if WWE and AEW called you at the exact same time, which one would you take?
It depends on who's paying me more. Is that a good answer?
I mean, yeah, but like if it had to be more like deep meaning,
other
than money,
for the experience. I would choose WWE for the experience so I can go through their training process and how they wrestle. And then if they fire me, I could take that wherever I go.
Exactly. Yeah. So like WWE is more of like the storyline. Do you like storylines? Is that your thing? Or obviously as a bad guy, it probably is.
I love storylines. I like being able to sink my teeth into something. Because like even with our promo work, we'll have like a rough idea of what we want to do and then ad lib the rest. But the main thing is to always call back to things that we've done before. And I love story building where you just constantly keep calling.
No, yeah, and like that's great because it gives like the audience and like the fans like more drive to go to the shows because like there's one like Smash Wrestling, they do promos, like they argue back and forth, and like that's what drives the fans, like, oh my god, what's gonna happen next? And they'll be like, well, you gotta find out at like this show. I'm like, hell yeah, forget work, I'm going.
Yeah. That's what gets people invested. Okay, anybody can do the same 4 moves and get over, but if there's no story behind you, then nobody's gonna care why you're wrestling.
Oh yeah, like you can post all these like this wrestler's gonna be here, but we want to hear from them. We want to know that they're gonna be into the crowd because like that's why I like the indies way more than like the big time shows because you don't get to go up to like John Cena and be like, hey, how you been? He'll be like, oh, high five, that's it, gotta go. Mm-hmm. But in the indies, they'll like spend, it depends on the wrestler, but like majority of the time I'll spend like hours or so long talking. I'm like, oh my god, so this is my life, and like we'll be gossiping. I'm like, hell yeah, we'd be gossiping about scratch and sniff.
Yeah. See, some shows I do that. Some shows I'll come out and I'll talk to people. Other shows I don't. I'm not leaving that back area, especially if I'm a heel. I'm not going to come out and talk to you because I'm supposed to be this bad guy, and you need to believe that I'm this bad guy. I just spent what, like 15 minutes screaming at you or yelling at you or calling you names. Why would I come out and talk to you like a normal person?
I mean, you could still come out and like yell at them more. Like, there's so much fun in yelling at people.
No, that's the thought, but the way I see it is, I'm a bad guy. I don't want to go out there, kayfabe wise. Like, I don't want to see you again. I want to stay back here and do my thing.
Yeah, I guess it fits your bad guy persona. Whatever. I mean, like, that's how it is with like Lucius Crow. Like, he's supposed to be a heel. He's supposed to be a bad guy, but like, I bring out the worst in him. He'll just be cracking jokes. He'll be smiling. I'm like, you're supposed to be a heel. You can't be doing this.
Well, that's why sometimes it's very hard for me to be a heel. Because it's like, I just want to joke and have fun. Like, that's the main thing about it. So like, being a bad guy, it adds joking and having fun, but I'm only making myself laugh. Like, that's the goal. And so like, my favorite thing to do though is when I'm wrestling, or if I have to do something for like a pull apart or something, I try to make people laugh. Like, that's my goal. I want people to break character when I enter the ring. And my favorite one is MIT. So MIT and I believe it was Jason Furious had a pull apart, and so I was part of that. And I picked up MIT. I grabbed him around the waist and I picked him up and I started walking him back to the corner. And when I picked him up, I just kind of got really close to his ear and I went, "Damn, you smell really good."
Oh my!
And I remember him breaking out and trying to like get away from me, and I was like, "Oh, that's fun."
Oh my god. And like that's like great that you're that wrestler. Like you always want to like make people laugh and like even if you're a heel. And like I think that's how I am as a fan. Like everyone loves me. I'm a hype. I come in there screaming and loud. They'll be like, yeah, Harley's here. But like I always make people laugh, and especially like the heels. So like there's a wrestler, his name's Rembrandt, and God love him. He's one of my favorite, and he's supposed to be a heel. But automatically now, because of me, the crowd loves him. I'm like, this is disgusting. And maybe I don't gotta like you because you're supposed to be a heel.
That's awesome. I know with when we faced Crow, we were trying to get Crow to laugh the entire time. And he almost broke because we set up we do this wheelbarrow splash, and we had little figurines of Mario and Luigi. So if anybody doesn't know, that's an inside joke because Nintendo of America decided to take down a shirt that was inspired by the Smash Brothers or the Mario Brothers. And so it was kind of like a little jab at like, especially it was like a little nod to the people that have been paying attention. But I picked him up in the wheelbarrow and he had his little Luigi with him, and he's just smiling ear to ear and looks down at Crow, and you could see Crow kind of like almost laugh, and he put his hand up.
Yeah, he's always got to play it off. So like I don't know. I like that. I like when there's wrestlers that can like always make your day. Like Crow, I bring out the worst in him. Like me and my dad, like I said, we crazy ass fans. So like with the whole Rembrandt thing, I don't know how he transferred from like he was a straight heel, like he would yell at people, and now like the crowd loves him. I'm like, I told him last show, you got to change because this is not good. Maybe I got to start booing you again.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
Another person that's funny like that is the dude. The dude is very.
Yep.
That was my training partner actually.
Oh.
We
okay.
We started around the same time, and we were actually our debut match. So our debut match, it was me versus him, and the entire time, I had to try so hard not to laugh. Because it's little things that he does during a match, and you're just kind of like, oh man, I can't stay serious.
No, yeah, like I just had him on the podcast my last episode. I don't remember, like Thursday, I think. And like it was great. He was hilarious. Loved every moment of it. But like that's why I say if I ever get involved, I don't want to be a wrestler, and I mean that. I want to be like a manager so I can yell at people because that's what I do now.
I love being.
But I mean, it also fits you.
Yeah.
But I think for me, like everyone says, like being a face is like so hard. But I'm like, no, I think being a heel for me is gonna be hard because I'm always laughing, I'm always doing something, so I can't.
No, I've never really had a problem being a face. I mean, I have a problem being a face with like different things, and that's just because of how I wrestle. But I don't know. I have enough charisma where I feel like I can get people to like me.
Yeah, so me personally, I think being a heel is hard because I cannot even like at my job, I work in a grocery store, so people piss me off all the time, but I can't not be mad at them. I'm just like, it's okay. Have a great day.
No, I get that. I get that. I work in retail too.
Yeah, so I don't know how people do the heel thing, but I'm gonna leave it to you because me, I'm just gonna be a straight baby face. But Anthony goes and says the dude busting his head open on a ring post. LOL.
Oh, so the dude versus Ricky Bright at Sanctuary. The dude does the dude splash, and he comes in for a big splash, and so the spot was he comes in for the splash, Ricky moves, and then they go into the next thing. Well, he did a splash, but he overshot it a little and smacked his eyebrow off of the turnbuckle and just cut him straight open. Yeah, and we actually incorporated that into the following match that we had. There was a huge tag match between backbreakers and backbreakers or high ground versus Sanctuary. And so we did a huge tag match, and then when the dude got eliminated, it was because he was afraid to come in for the splash at that exact pole, and then kick the pole on the way out.
Yeah, he was like, hell no, am I doing that again?
We were making fun of him for weeks.
I bet. I mean, that's something like one time it'll be like, we're just gonna keep doing this thing. So obviously you're still like you're not new, but like you're fairly new. So do you think it's gonna be like an injury or mindset thing that causes you to be like, okay, I'm done?
You know, Mike warned me about this question because I was asking him. I was like, what should I expect with the questioning? And he's like, oh, there's nothing really. But the last question is going to get you. And I was like, all right, what's the last question? And then I was thinking about it. I believe that I'm probably going to leave on my own terms because I already have it set in my head that once I hit 30, I'm done with wrestling.
That's so early.
Well, I'm 24. If I can't get anywhere from 24 to 30, then I don't know. Maybe I'll do a couple of like little shows here and there, but right now I know October I'm going to be taking a bit of a break, and that's because the Don has a baby on the way.
That's right. I seen that. I was like, oh my God, look at you. That's great.
The crazy part is my tag team partner also has a baby on the way.
That's great. Like, I didn't even know him and Shelby Waters were together. I was like, oh my God, they're together?
Yeah.
Because, like, she posted the pregnancy. I'm like, oh, well, maybe they're just friends. And then I look, I'm like, oh, no, they're in a relationship.
Yeah. It's cool. Especially because, like, we are tag team partners. We do everything together. And then we found out that we were pregnant, and it was really cool. It was a really cool moment. And then he goes, hey, by the way, I'm having a baby too. And I was like, all right, I know we're a tag team, but we don't have to do everything as a part of it. No, but I'm really excited for them. The bad babies are on their way.
Oh my gosh. Let's just give them little golfer shirts and take them golfing.
Yep.
Oh, hell no. No, I'm just kidding. So, how do you feel about like death matches, weapon, hardcore matches?
So I've only had one, I guess you would call it a hardcore match. It was a street fight. So we had chairs and cookie trays and stuff. I'm fine with it as long as I know what's going to happen. Because I know in death matches, there's a lot of like glass and barbed wire and crazy nonsense in there. I'm not saying I would never do one. I'm saying that I would try my hardest not to ever do one. I'm okay with a hardcore match, okay, as long as I can touch the props beforehand and figure out what I'm gonna get myself into.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, so if Lucius Crow's gonna be at the same show, just throw it to him because we like to see him in pain. No, I'm just kidding. You didn't hear me say that.
Death matches kind of freak me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm crazy and I'll put my body through some crazy stuff, but like I don't think I'd take a light tube to the head or, you know.
Because blood is one of my biggest pet peeves in wrestling. Like, I hate it. Like, obviously, death matches, they bleed. But if you bleed in, do not be. There was a time this wrestler was bleeding, like, from his head, and he was standing right in front of me. I'm like, nope, you gotta go. I can't do this. I can't.
I would do it. I would do it. Maybe.
Good. So if you start bleeding, you'll be standing on the opposite side of the room from me.
Yeah. I'll make sure to find you.
Be like, you want a hug? No. You just gotta go. Like, do you need a doctor? I could get you a doctor, but you're not getting a hug.
Like, remember how you brought that tutu?
Be like, yeah, this is the aftermath of it. That's great. So, how do you feel about like intergender wrestling, male versus female?
Perfectly okay with it. I'm perfectly okay with it, especially because my tag team partner does a lot of intergender wrestling.
Yeah.
No, I do enjoy it, but it's one of those things where it's like I know people don't like it, but it's also like we're all trained the same way. If you go into training, like you're not just gonna see, oh, this is the girls' time to wrestle and this is the boys' time to wrestle. No, it's everybody wrestles the same way. Like, you're supposed to wrestle together, and so
exactly
being on the indie scene, I love it because it's like, okay, now because 9 times out of 10 the girl's gonna win. 9 times out of 10 the girl's gonna win. So it's like it's a good thing for both, especially because if you're a bad guy and you're beating up a girl, now everybody's gonna be like, oh, you're beating up a girl. But she comes out miraculously, pins you 1, 2, 3, and now she looks great because she just pinned the guy, and then you look even more like an asshole because you just beat up this girl and you still lost to her. Like, it's
a
win-win.
Yeah, and I mean, some people say like if it matches like the story, like if there's a storyline behind it, okay, that's great. Because there's a company, AXW, it's Izzy McCoy, and like I love her. She's so sweet. But every single match she's in, she always wins. Male versus female. I'm like, oh well, we already know who's gonna win this one. And kind of like it's good and bad because like it kind of makes the male look like, oh well, he just got beat by a girl. But then if like the female loses, oh well, this man just hit her, like you said. So it's like it has its.
It's one of those tough situations for right now because not a lot of people are open to it.
I mean, I like it, but we need to like mix it up. Like some males can win and some females can win as long as it matches the story. So do you have like a dream place you wish to wrestle in, like be anywhere?
I don't really have a dream place. Maybe Madison Square Garden.
I knew you were gonna say that because that's like every wrestler's dream. They're like, he's gonna say it.
It's one of those. It's like that, or yeah, that, or just being able to like wrestle in like Japan, like being like that, just to get that experience of being over there.
So like, if someone said, "Hey, do you want to wrestle at like a dance club?" Would you do that?
Oh yeah, probably.
Or okay, so if someone had like a Halloween show, they'll be like, okay, so you got to dress up as something. What would you dress up as? Like, this is just a random question, but
this is a Halloween show, and I'm dressing up.
Yeah,
I'm up as Mario.
That was a wrong. Like, I knew you were gonna say something like that, but no, that's the wrong answer. You got to say a ballerina because it makes sense.
I dress up as Mario. I'm a chunky Italian man. Of course, I dress up as Mario.
Oh my goodness. So, so your tag partner would come out as Luigi then, right?
Yeah, that's what we did at Frontier Pro Wrestling.
Hey, whatever makes you happy, go for it. So, Anthony Blackwell just goes and says a bowling pin, and Nate is a pin. Bowling ball. My bad. But yeah, it makes sense, I guess.
Bowling is bowling.
So is there anything you do before you come out the curtain?
Yes, and I've never been asked this question. I actually really like this question. So I do this thing. So I'm what would it be called? I'm Nordic heathen, which means that's the kind of belief that I do. So I actually do ruins before I go out. So I prepare myself, I wet my hair and stuff, and right before we go out to the curtain, I bend over and I touch the ground and I'll draw Nordic runes as like protection for me.
Okay, that's different. Like a lot of times I say I do like push-ups or I talk to myself in a mirror. So hey, whatever you gotta do, man.
I always do it because so in Norse, you write the I don't know what to call them. You write the runes. That's what they're called. They're called runes. You write the runes as like omens or protection. So like I draw the Thor omen, and then I draw the Odin rune, which is protection and just it basically keep me safe while I'm out there. And
That's great.
so it's nice.
Yeah, like that's great that you do that because like I said, some people, this guy, his name is Buddy Thomas, he talks to himself in a mirror. Like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, but talking into a mirror is like being a princess.
He's getting into character. He's gotta talk to himself.
I hate that man. I tell him all the time, I hate you. I like it's a hate love kind of thing, I guess, but like I do hate him. He is the reason I'll become a heel because when he came on the podcast, I'm a straight like in wrestling, I'm the nicest person. Outside of wrestling, I'm so nice. But when he came on the podcast, it was on my birthday too. I don't know what happened. I was just a straight heel. I was like cursing at him. I was like, "Nah, you gotta go, bitch."
That's funny.
I don't know. I think if I ever wanted to become a heel, I'd be like, hold on, let me just call Buddy Thomas really quick and be like, hey, you gotta piss me off. Do something.
That's funny.
Yeah, pretty much. So Alex says, hey, did you complete it IWA Mid-South? Might have read that wrong.
No, I don't believe so.
Maybe think about someone else. That's okay.
Maybe.
So has there ever been a venue that you wrestled at? You were like, I really love this place and I will wrestle here any chance I get.
3WA. 3WA. I absolutely love the fans. Well, I hate the fans down there, but like the reaction that I get at 3WA is insane. It is absolutely insane. Like these people actually hate me. And I love it because 3WA they have a reoccurring crowd, so it's always the same people, and there is specifically this group of guys that really want to fight me, and I love it.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, there's a show out here, BPW, Battlefield Pro Wrestling, and like there's like this group of guys and they throw tampons at wrestlers. I'm like, hey, hey now.
No, my favorite moment was there was this old guy at 3WA. It was an older gentleman, and he was screaming at the top of his lungs about how he wanted to beat me up, and I loved it, and I fed into it because when you're a heel, you pick out maybe 2 or 3 people in the crowd, and those are your go-tos. Those are the people that I'm going to keep pissing off and keep poking and prodding at until the match is over. And this guy, he was letting me have it. And I told him to shut up before he had a heart attack. And he got even more mad and started yelling even more insults. And I told him if he didn't calm down, I'd turn off his pacemaker. And that really got people mad.
I don't even have any words, guys. I think you are like the definition of like comebacks because literally all the wrestlers always say like shut up or something, and it's always the same thing. But you really are a bad guy.
Yeah, that's from growing up with an Italian household. You always have to have a joke ready. If not, you're just gonna get bullied.
And even if you don't, you'll still get bullied. Just look at you. That's great, I guess. But the Pro Wrestling Podcast goes and says these interviews are always awesome. Yeah, you know, because you got your favorite out here. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm happy. It is. It's fine.
Yeah, like not trying to brag, but like, come on now, I'm your favorite.
Listen, you got this shit, okay? I've been on a couple podcasts.
I know, and some people be like, I don't know, their podcasts, they'd be okay, but like, not trying to brag, but like, mine's are the best. I ask them that after, I'd be like, hey, so now that we're off the air, I was a favorite, right? I'd be like, shh.
I love podcasts just because when I work, I love listening to podcasts. So it's like always, anytime somebody reaches out to me, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it because I love listening to different podcasts. So as soon as I found out that you had a podcast, it was like, oh, cool. Now it's another podcast I can go and listen to.
Yeah, and like it's good because everyone has their own style. Like Anthony Blackwell, he does his podcast and like he does it in his own way. So like that's cool. Like he has a setup. Mine is more like laid back and we just be laughing and joking. So it's cool.
90% of my podcast is the same way. I'm like, you want me to be a character? All right, cool. I'll be out of
Yeah. So the pro wrestling podcast goes, I concur. Italians are ruthless. Yeah, because look at this one.
Yeah. It happens.
Yep. And then Alex goes, it says, memories of this event, Smash Master Wrestling 8, the Yins. Yeah. Yeah, I can't even speak, but you see it.
Yeah. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Hey, they're bringing down some Italian muscle man, and we need an Italian badass to kind of combat that. Do you want to do it? And I was like, hell yeah, I want to do it. It was really fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and like as long as you're having fun with what you're doing, just keep doing it.
Yeah, and that was the debut of my like actual gear. And
So like speak of gear, how do you like come up with the design of your gear? Or is it kind of like, okay, let's just draw something out and there you go?
So originally I started off with dress pants. I started so my character is the new Don. Okay, so Adon is basically the head of the table. He's like, he does all of the business making, whatever. So I was like, I have to dress classy. So I did dress pants with a belt, and then I had my singlet, and then I would wear like a dress shirt over. And so that's how I started my gear. And then it slowly turned into, once I started tagging with Nathaniel, it turned into sweatpants and a singlet. So we'd wear our fancy, crazy sweatpants with like cheetah print or, zebra stripes. And so like crazy Italian tracksuits, basically. And then now it's like, we're still wearing the sweatpants, but we have actual gear now where it's tights, boots, the whole works. So that'll be fun.
So like you started as a basic Italian and got worse into the Italian. I mean, hey, it suits you, so whatever.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I like it because some wrestlers are like, yeah, I don't design it. I just say, okay, make whatever, and there you go. I'm like, oh. Me, I think if I ever did become a wrestler, that would take me a long ass time because I'm so picky with it. So I'd be like, well, now I don't like this. So like for a long time, my hair was red and now it's back to my natural color. And like once I go back, it's like it has to match. It just can't be some random zebra print.
It took me a while to come up with my original gear because it was trying to like rack my brain on what would this guy wear in a ring. It's like, okay, now I got to really get in depth with the character. It's like, say I'm a crime lord, like what am I going to wear to beat people up? And I was like, well, 90% of the fights you see on like mob movies, they're still dressed up nice. They just take their rings off and they take the bracelets off and they'll take their dress shirt off. And it's like I wanted that, but without having to wear like an actual like t-shirt underneath. So I wore the singlet with the dress pants, and I still really enjoy that look. It's just I can't really do it while I'm in a tag team because we're supposed to look the same. That way people acknowledge the fact that we're a tag team.
Yeah, so you kind of like said about head of the table. How do you feel about like if you watch WWE, like the whole Roman Reigns thing, how do you feel about like the bloodline?
Right. So here's the thing. I don't watch WWE.
Okay, well I can't ask you that.
I do pay attention to like little clips, and I do enjoy the bloodline story. It's really good.
No, and that's great. Like that's me. It's just not me. I cannot sit in front of a TV and watch. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even have to be wrestling. I just can't sit in front of a TV for like hours. Like for wrestling, it's too much.
Doing wrestling actually ruined wrestling for me now. So it's like because originally like I didn't watch the product beforehand. Like I stopped watching at a certain age, but doing it now has kind of ruined it to the fact of like now I'm watching the matches and critiquing the matches. Oh, what would you do in this position? What would I do in this position? How would I? And so now it's like oh, I can't really enjoy it for the storyline now. And so now it's like, if I watch little clips of it, now it's like, okay, now I'm just invested in the story. This is a nice story.
Yeah, because like you don't have to sit in like the whole 3 hours worth. You could just go on YouTube and like that's what my dad does. Like sometimes he watches the full thing, or he'll just watch the clips. I'll be like, hold on, I hear wrestling. Let me just watch it for like 5 minutes, and that's okay with me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, I that's one. Those are two tag teams one tag team that I absolutely hate. They equal up to Aaron Roxas and freaking that other guy, his tag partner. What's his name? I always bad match him on here, like in a good way. I forgot his name, but I'll think of it after the fact. Be like, oh, this is the guy that I was talking about. Whoever he tags with a lot.
Who tags?
Aaron Roxas.
Oh, Johnny Moran.
That's the man. I hate that man. Those two equal up to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I can't.
Yeah. I had a conversation with Johnny Moran, but
no, he kills me. He makes me the reason, like, okay, I'm leaving. I can't do this no more. He just makes my head hurt. But so Anthony Blackwell goes and says, you can be the favorite, but everyone loves ABJ. Yeah. We get it. Oh my gosh.
I can't deny my brother. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, he goes and says, also, I'm done for a while, so you can hold it down. I'll be back in a few months. Damn right. So I'm gonna steal like all the guests that you had on and be like, come on over. It's okay.
There you go.
Right?
Set up too.
Right? Be like, it's the laid back podcast. You don't gotta be in character. You just have fun and you do you.
There you go.
So, do you have merch? And if so, where can people buy it?
So, at the moment, we do not have merch. We did have merch, but Nintendo of America decided to take down our original design, and then they took down our entire store. So, we do not have merch at this time. But I am working on it with different websites to see what fits the best. And maybe possibly within the next month.
Damn, you really got canceled in the Nintendo world.
Oh, I did. And I love Nintendo. That's why we did that gimmick. It was really cool, but Nintendo didn't like it. So
my question is, like, how did they even find out? Were they just like, did they see someone seeing the shirt or?
So it was because we uploaded it to a certain site. And then because that site has to follow a lot of DMCAs, they took it down. And because it went through the process more than once, they just took down the site. They were like, hey, we're not going to deal with any legal issues, so we're just going to take your store down. And I was like, oh, all right, cool.
I mean, me personally, I would have still sold the shirts at like indie shows. Be like, shh, don't tell no one. Just there you go.
I think because I had a similar situation with a sticker that I made. I made a logo, but the sticker, it came to find out it was a NFT. I don't know if you know what an NFT is, but it's stupid. But I made this logo, and then turned out it was part of an NFT, and the guy told me that I couldn't sell it. So one of the shows that I was working, I literally just grabbed a fistful of them and threw them in the crowd. I was like, all right, well, I can't sell them. Here, take them.
Right? Do what you want. No, like, that's great. I used to have a co-host on here, and now obviously it's just me, which is okay. Like we said, they have their wrestling drama. It's okay. It's fine. But so like I'm in the mix of like making new stickers now, and I still have like a stack like this big of the old ones I had me and her on. I'm like, well, what do I do with these now? Just like give them the kids. Be like, here, do whatever you want with them.
That's what I wound up doing. I was just like, you guys want Donny Bambino stickers? Here.
No, that's great. I mean, wrestling has its perks, I guess. So do you have any like upcoming shows, or where can like people find you at?
I don't know about upcoming shows because I don't really do my own booking. So the thing is,
I meant, are you booked anywhere?
Oh, I'm booked everywhere. Okay, everywhere and anywhere. No. So Cunningham does all of the booking for us. So it's like he does that, and then I'm very good at making logos and different things. So he does that, I do this, and we meet up at the show. But
Okay, so I gotta ask him about that then. Got it.
no, you can catch me all the time at 3WA, High Ground Pro Wrestling. Occasionally at Smashmaster when they have a spot for me. Trying to think of anything else. I know we're going to PCWA here soon. I believe that's the next technical show. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on all of them. That's really it.
TikTok? Did you say TikTok?
I'm on TikTok.
Oh my god, you do like ballerina stuff on there too, or is it like bowling kind of stuff?
Well, okay, so my wrestling TikTok is that way. It's just wrestling stuff.
Okay, so give me a second while I find like your personal one, like with the ballerina stuff on it.
Find it. Don't have any ballerina.
You just took the fun out of it.
No, my personal account is actually like from when TikTok first started, and I got very popular on TikTok. I had like 8,000 followers, something like that. I got semi-popular.
So that makes sense. Just dress up as a ballerina and like you'll get like 1,000 more. And be like, hell yeah. I'll post and be like, look at this. That was my idea. He's going viral now.
Look at this big ass Italian man dancing in a tutu. Yeah.
That'll be great. I'll be sharing it like 1,000 times just so we can get like 1 million or some views. Be like, yep, look at him. Look at that Italian.
That's funny.
But thank you so much for coming on. It was definitely a fun one.
Yeah, no, I had a blast.
Of course. So hopefully I see you at a show soon.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you so much and have a great night. Bye.
Bye.